Welcome back. This is part 2 of the 3-part series where we are creating a mockup pack to sell. If you missed part 1 where we covered the tool, the link is in the description. In this part, we are going to build an actual mockup from scratch. And if you haven't grabbed the free mockup blueprint pack yet, the link is in the description below. It has everything you need to get started. Let's start. So I'll show you two examples, one with the background removed and one with the original background, and I'll show you how easy it is to remove the background of an image in Photopea. Before that, let me give you this one important tip. When you are using images, especially for products that you are planning to sell or anything that is a commercial use, always make sure you have a license to use that image for commercial use. So for me, I mostly use images from Pixels or Pixabay or Unsplash. I'll leave links to those sites in the description. That said, let's start. Let me show you. So let's open up the image that we want to work with. Go to open from computer. Here it is. Now, let's say I want to remove the background of this image. So let me show you how easy it is in Photopea. Go to select, remove PG. Click it. It will ask you to watch a short ad. So just click OK. Watch the ad. It's about 20 or 30 seconds long. It's about 20 or 30 seconds long. Then after that, you get the effect applied to your image. Now we are done. See, here is processing. Just give it a second. And here it is. Look how clean it is at removing all of the background. Now, what I advise at this point is to save the image and then open it again, because we are going to be applying effects and mask to the image. So if we do that while this is here, there is already a mask on the image, it might get things, it might make things confusing or complicated. So just export it as a PNG and open it again. And here is our image with the background removed. So this way it's cleaner and easier for you to work on the image. Now that we have removed the background out of the way, let's add a new background to this image. So let's go to layer, new fill layer. You can add a solid color background here using color fill or a gradient fill or pattern fill, depending on what you want. Or you can use the gradient tool to add a gradient to the image. So you have free reign here to choose whatever background you want. You can even add a picture of a background that you want to use yourself. So for simplicity, I'm going to add a solid color background right here. Let's say a yellow background. So once it's applied, just move the color background to the actually behind the image, and then you can just rename them so that it's clearer. Background, and let's call this one model. So now to create the mockup, what you need to do is you need to add a placeholder image first. Before we continue, let me show you how to make the placeholder image where you will put on the design which will be replaced by anyone's designs or the customer's design. So I want to add the text for it, which is your design here. So first things first, you need to use a transparent background because this has to be empty. There must be nothing behind it. So let's add the text. I like to add the text on 3 separate lines. So this way it will be easier to modify later on. So the first thing is your. So click the check mark and then use the text tool again so that the next one will be on its own layer. Design, check mark, and then add the last one, which is here. So this way the 3 words are on different layers, and let me show you why. So click on the move tool and then we click on each one and move it. So this way you get to place them as you like. And now let me just change the size of the text and the placement to make the final adjustments for it. and here it is. So if you're going to use this one on black designs, so make the text white. If you're going to use it on white designs or white shirts, use a black shirt, a black design, black color for the words like this one. And simply don't forget, when you export it as a PNG. Rename it placeholder or whatever, something that you know, and just save it as that. And then you can import it into the image whenever you're making a mockup. So I have one created. It says your design here, and it's in white. Let me just bring it up. Here it is. You don't see it clearly here because it's white, and here your design here. So just make it bigger and resize it. Place the image where you want, and I want it like this. Click the tick mark, the check mark. Now that we put the placeholder image, which is your design here, we need to convert it to a smart object. So click on the layer, right click on it, and click convert to smart object. Now it has the small square right here, which we can place the design later on after we are done. So now the process is simple. First, duplicate the layer, the model layer. Just go right click on it, duplicate layer, and then move it on top of your placeholder. So the placeholder image is gone right now. It's hiding behind the model. So what you do is change the blending effect for the model copy. Change it from normal to hard light. Now this is the first step. Then the second step, add a clipping mask to this layer. So right click on it, clipping mask. Then after that, we're gonna do some modifications. Just make sure that you are still on the model copy layer and go to image, adjustments, hue and saturation. Move the saturation all the way to the left to remove the saturation completely. Click OK, and then click on image again, adjustments, go to curves. Now this is where we are going to bring the design back. Click on the middle part or this part because it depends on the colors of the image. So for this one, it's from the middle we are moving it, and just go ahead slightly until you feel that you are getting the best look for it, which I think here it is. So click OK, and basically we are done. Now to test the image, just double click right here on this little square. It will open a new tab and add in an image to test with. Just go to File, Open and Place. Choose one of the images that you have. Then uncheck the eye for the placeholder design, and then go to File, Save Smart Object. And then there it is. The design is there on the image itself. So if you test it like this and then you are done, then you can just click here to go back to the last modification that was done using curves, and then rename the layers for something like do not touch for this one because it adds the effects. This one is called your design here, model and background. So now you can just go and save it as a PSD. So this is the file that is editable, and you can give to the customers or anybody who wants it. And you can also export as a PNG or JPEG to show a preview. But before that, let me show you one more thing about the shadows. So to add a shadow to this model so it looks more realistic, click Control and click on the image here on the model layer thumbnail. This way a selection will be done. You will see the dotted line or the marching ants. Then after that, create a new layer, move it underneath the model layer and rename it to shadow. Then to add the shadow, first make sure the color is black right here on the colors button. So let's choose pure black. Okay. Then while the shadow layer is selected, you go to edit, fill, and make sure it's chosen foreground right here. Click OK. Now what has happened is we got a template of this same behind it in the shadow like this. Let me hide the model layer, and here it is. This is the design, so you can also hide it from here. Now go to select, deselect to remove the dotted line. So now to make this even more realistic, what we are going to do is we are going to blur it a little. We are going to use something called Gaussian blur. So go to filter, blur, and here it is, this one, Gaussian blur. Move the selection right here, and then move the slider until you get a shadow that is good. So for example, for me, I think about here is good. Click OK. Then bring back the model and the design, and then after that just go to the move tool and move the shadow slightly to the left so that the shadow will appear behind the model. Now as you can see, the shadow is too black, so simply we can just reduce the opacity to make it a bit more realistic. I think here around 48 is good. And this is the way to add a realistic shadow to your image simply and easily. And now this mockup is ready to be used by anyone. Just save it as a PSD to save all the layers and the stuff from it. Now let me show you how to create a mockup from an image without removing the background from it. So we go to open, and I'm using this one. If you are using an image without removing the background, it's very easy. So first we place the placeholder image, open and place. Since this one is white, I'm going to use black design for this one, a black placeholder image. Move it, place it, click the check mark, and then the same process again. Convert to smart object the placeholder image, then duplicate the image of the shirt, move the copy above the placeholder image, and then add the filter, hard light. This is important. Always use hard light. And then we add the clipping mask, and we do the image adjustments. Notice we are still on the same layer. Do not move from it. Hue and saturation. Saturation to the lowest. OK. Then again image, adjustments, curves. Now this time we are going to move from this one to bring back our image. Move it slightly until you reach the perfect setting for it. And click OK. And we are done. So now to test it, just click the little square, hide the layer for the placeholder image, open and place to put whatever image you want to test with. For example, let's try this one. Click the check mark and save smart object. Go back to the image, and here it is, the design added to the shirt. And that is how simply it is to make mockups in Photopea, and just repeat this a few times, 5, 8, 10 times, and you have a complete set of mockups. Okay, now that part 2 is completed, go ahead and click the link below to jump into part 3, where we list our product for sale. And don't forget to grab the free blueprint pack that I linked in the description.